What did a man fear 10,000 years ago? And what might a man fear 200 years from now? Welcome to the show. Today's episode starts with a strange but fascinating exercise. Imagine we travel through human history, and at each stop, we ask the same three questions. What did people look like? What was their life motto? And what was their biggest fear? It sounds simple, but when you line those answers up across time, something surprising appears. You begin to see how human psychology slowly shifts, while something deeper stays the same. Let's start at the beginning. About 10,000 years ago, the typical man was a hunter. Lean, muscular, constantly moving. Life was immediate and physical. His motto might have been simple. Is there food today? His greatest fear? Starvation. There was no long-term planning, no career ladder, no identity crisis. The brain's entire focus was survival. If you ate today and avoided predators, that was success. But here's the interesting part. The male hunter wasn't alone. In many cases, the daily calories that kept the group alive actually came from women gathering plants in food. Which means early human life depended on two different survival strategies, the hunter and the gatherer. For women in that same era, the guiding focus was different. Not just survival, continuation. A possible motto for early women might be, keep the child alive. And the deepest fear? Losing a child? This difference shaped a lot of human behavior. One side focused on securing resources, the other on protecting and sustaining life. Then something huge happened. Agriculture. Around 8,000 to 4,000 years ago, humans stopped moving constantly and started settling down. Villages appeared. Food could be stored. Men were no longer just hunters. They became farmers. The motto shifted slightly. Hold the land, hold life. And the new fear wasn't predators. It was drought. Meanwhile, women became central to the stability of the household. Managing food, children, and storage became the quiet engine of early civilization. In other words, survival slowly turned into structure. Fast forward to the age of kingdoms and early civilizations. Now the psychology changes again. Men become warriors. The motto evolves into something like, power defines truth. And the biggest fear? Becoming a slave. Social hierarchies appear. Power determines survival. Strength and loyalty become cultural values. For women in these structured societies, the guiding theme becomes family and status. A woman's social position often depends on the family structure around her. The fear shifts from survival to loss of standing. And then we move forward again. Industrial society. The factories arrive. Suddenly, both men and women are pulled into a new system, work tied to machines. For men, the motto becomes brutally practical. If you don't work, you don't eat. The fear changes again, not starvation directly, but unemployment. For women, industrialization quietly opens a new door. Work outside the home. For the first time at large scale, women become visible economic actors. And then the 20th century arrives. Something subtle but powerful happens. Identity becomes a question. Men begin chasing success, careers, status. The motto becomes, achieve. And the fear? Failure. At the same time, women face a new psychological challenge, balancing multiple identities. Career, family, independence. The question becomes, can I choose my own life? Now we arrive in the present. Look around. For many men today, the biggest fear isn't hunger, war, or unemployment. It's something more abstract, meaninglessness. The question shifts from, how do I survive, to why am I here? And for many women today, the central challenge becomes balance, not survival, but choosing the right life path. career, relationships, family, independence. That's a very different psychological landscape than the one our ancestors faced. Now let's do something even more interesting. Let's step into the future. Imagine the year 2050. Technology connects everything. Humans live inside vast digital networks. In that world, a possible motto might be, if you're connected, you exist. And the fear? Being excluded from the system, which, interestingly, mirrors something ancient. For early humans, being expelled from the tribe meant death. In the future, being disconnected from networks could create a similar psychological pressure. Then, imagine the year 2100. Genetic technology and human optimization become common ideas. The motto might shift again, upgrade, and the fear becomes falling behind, not physically, but technologically. Further into the future, humans may even live beyond Earth. Colonies, exploration, new environments. At that point, the ancient hunter instinct might return in a new form. The drive to explore, the fear, not starvation, but purposelessness. And perhaps even further ahead, the body might matter less than the mind. Human consciousness linked to advanced systems, which raises a strange question. Where does the human end and the system begin? But here's the most interesting thread running through all of this. Despite all the technology, all the cultural change, all the shifting lifestyles, three ancient fears seem to stay with us. The fear of death, the fear of being rejected by the group, and the fear that life has no meaning. 10,000 years ago, those fears looked like hunger and danger. Today, they look like career anxiety and identity crisis. Tomorrow, they might appear as disconnection from technology or loss of purpose. The costumes change. The brain underneath stays remarkably old. So maybe the real question isn't how humans will change in the future. Maybe the deeper question is this: with all our technology and progress, are we still carrying the same ancient fears inside our modern minds? And if we are, what does that say about the kind of future we're actually building?